What to do, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Vulgar One, the Vulgar Son, the Vulgar Desperado, representing the Jabber Jaws, a professional ish talker, is giving you and your crew some things to talk about in your living room. Today, I got this article from Bounding Into Comics that actually made me a little bit happy. In the supposed potential, maybe subtle fight against woke reboot crap that's being hammered out, it seems like on a daily basis. Looks like another nail in the coffin for this one. Looks like Fox officially stakes richly diverse reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Series left on an indefinite pause. So, this, yeah, like I said, give it a round of applause for that one. Because, to be perfectly honest, I'm sick and tired of diversity being the charging point. And then, like this fucking picture right here, it shows the black face in the middle because, you know, that's the mascot for whatever fucking agenda they're trying to push. And that, to me, is not okay. There's all kinds of different ways that we've talked about on this channel to be diverse and how to show it authentically and respectfully. And generally, when they put that on the front line, whenever they're trying to sell you something, you know it's a problem. So I was actually glad to hear this. So I'm going to go through this article, probably dance around a little bit. But it was kind of interesting here in the first paragraph. It says, you know, it was quite richly diverse, like they said in the title, but it looks like there was some heavy involvement from Joss Whedon. Now, I wonder if that pause comes from the fact that that fool's been all in some hot water in the last year or two, you know, with his bullshit dramas and with the, you know, Justice League cast and then getting called all kinds of maybe a predator of sorts, I don't know, on the set of Buffy by the old cast there. So, you know, there's part of that in the logical sense that they're not canceling it for it being woke or anything, but they're canceling it because maybe he was running it and it just, I don't know, just did not crack a lack. Admittedly, though, as we'll go through this article, there's some good art from the former comic book, and I'll admit too, like, you know, already going in, what makes this so retarded of just an idea is this was a pretty diverse show. I mean, the black chick right here, you're looking at Kendra, she was a Slayer, she dies. Willow, red hair, she's a lesbian, and then there's Cordelia, who she could be kind of Hispanic descent, but point being is you got a little bit of every color of the rainbow over here, so I don't know why they all kind of mad, and they actually got legit rainbow, so I don't know what they tripping on when you talk about diverse. But it does look like the people working on it on some recent podcast, Hollywood Reporter's top TV's top 5 podcast, a weekly show wherein the site's West Coast TV editor Leslie Goldberg and chief TV critic Daniel Feinberg breaking down the latest industry headliners. Okay, sidetracking again. This is one of the sickest moments or sickest tight series, sickest moments in the Buffy show is when she got this fucking steak axe that was all blood red on it. It was fire. Just had to point that out. Good ass art. But broaching the topic after being asked for an update on the series during the show's listener email segment, Goldberg revealed to whomever wrote inquiring about the status of the Buffy the Vampire reboot that was put into development back in 2018. Executive producer Gail Berman recently told our colleague and friend of TV's top 5, Katie Klingnick, that it is quote on pause, which is industry speak for purgatory. Goldberg concluded. So make of that of what you will. And yeah, that's a good thing, bro. Like nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. You can honestly go and rewatch them. Like, bro, I got all 7 seasons of Buffy on DVD right now. Still holds up. Like, they don't have cell phones, smartphones. All big tough titty, nigga. Like, still a good ass show. You don't need to reboot everything just based off the principle of there's new people born. Like, and they can go back and learn some history. Are we afraid to show people history nowadays? What the fuck are we thinking half the time? Let's see. I'm just gonna kind of point out one sentence in this little paragraph right here. So there was rumors going to be an African American actress to portray Buffy, which would have been dumb. You know, I mean, look, if you're going to do any kind of reboots and whatever, like just either keep it as close to the original as possible, have it be like a play. You know, everybody and their mom can play Hamlet, right? If you're still playing the same fucking play. If you're going to do that with these shows, motherfuckers just play the same shit. Spice it up a little bit. Maybe add a little technology. Maybe. You really don't need it. But just change the look of it. But keep its core essence. But not I know I just said look of it, but look as in you get the person that looks the part, but they're just obviously not the original actor. That's the only thing that matters. You don't need to be like, well, we need to get this because you know what comes next. Identity politics. There's no way you can switch the race of somebody and not have that be a subject of contention in somewhere in the story. And if that's not what the story is about, you're not gonna have the same fucking people liking it. Let's see. Like they said, so it's like our world. It will be richly diverse, and like the original, some aspects of the series could be seen as a metaphor for issues facing us all today. See, again, it's just like too much focus on that stuff. There are some, Buffy has 7 seasons, so the idea that you're not dealing with some, heavy topics here and there that are relatable to just the regular people, is it would be asinine to say it's not there. And Josh Whedon also did, speak on in one of these behind the scenes things, and he talked about like, yeah, I wanted the vampires to be like metaphors for, teenage angst and, growth and puberty and whatever. And, the show evolved from that original core theme into an actually pretty deep lore filled universe that is really fantastic. Like, Josh Whedon might have changed the game when you think of vampires. He did a lot of things that, you might be a little more common or a little bit more noticeable with vampires today, but you probably weren't seeing that before he kind of got his hands on it. So it's pretty cool, honestly, what he did and what Buffy did for that type of storytelling when it comes to vampires, monsters, and demons and shit. But yeah, like they also mentioned here, is like whether or not this mystery slayer would have been any relation to the original black character Kendra Young is unknown. Yeah, Kendra, another original Slayer. She was pretty cool, actually. Got killed, but look, if you want to reboot it, make her stick around, and that's honestly what these images are from the comic book. Like, she was in the comic book, and this is a reboot of the comic book or the original story, and take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I've checked it out. I didn't like some of the changes to it, so I just didn't read it, so I don't have much of an opinion on it. It could still be good, but from what I do know, her and this other dude who's black, actually, like, they kind of get thrown more into the world. Like, the black dude's like a young cat and she's young. I don't know if they're going to school together or whatnot, but point being is they have more prominent roles, and if you like the comic book, that works to it. But regardless, I don't think for the TV show, you want to stick to your core. Like, you want to really mix it up, wait till you get to season 6 or something before people will accept that kind of shit, Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's much else in here in this article, I mean, besides them kind of patting themselves on the back when they were originally talking about, this reboot and stuff. But honestly, I'm happy. I'm really happy that they're pausing this kind of shit, because just like with Batgirl, just like with all these other ones, like, we gotta eventually put your foot down. David Zaslav, who's going around chopping up DC entertainment and cutting canon movies, potentially getting rid of the comic publishers. It may suck for some, and it could be painful for some, especially the ones that worked on it, but y'all got paid, so it's all good. But, I mean, to say you really were looking forward to Batgirl, which I don't know why you were, and if you are, stop lying, you're just brainwashed. Sorry. But if that's the case, it does suck in some realms, but truly and honestly, we are at a point where you got to make the tough choices, even if it's, cutting your losses, even after you spent all the money. A lot of these franchises, a lot of these projects are getting destroyed and dismantled into something that they're not. I mean, look at Star Wars. People now who are longtime Star Wars fans, can't like it. You can't even watch it. The fact that more people than not. I met a 14-year-old boy one time, like, who said that when I was working one day. He's just like, no, there's only like 6 Star Wars. Even the children know that, like, this new world, this new Star Wars is not good, So the fact of the matter is, when you bastardize franchises that have been around for 10, 20, 30 plus whatever years, when they're trying to bring it back, or when they're trying to do what they're doing, I mean, look, sometimes it's good to just not see it. It's that simple. I as much as it'd be kind of cool to see more new Buffy stuff, I don't need the original actors, but you just need the coreness to the show. But to be perfectly honest, we just kind of don't need to touch a lot of this stuff. I mean, you'd be better off with, like, Buffy's an easy show to kind of just, I don't know, either do a super early prequel where it doesn't fuck up the original, ending of the show, or there's lots of ways to go years later and do a show. I mean, they had this thing called the Slayer line. So, each girl, after, a couple years after she dies being a Slayer, another girl's born into being a Slayer. Easy enough for a prequel. Done data. It's not that fucking hard. Now, if you wanted to do it for the forward, the way the story kind of works, the line kind of gets destroyed and there's all these other potential Slayers, but it still would work. It's still better than rebooting and saying, we're correcting history. Because that's my thing when I see this, and it's kind of sad because the only thing I can look at is, like, and just say, you try to shove black faces in there and at places where we weren't, and to me it sounds like a little girl that's like hurt that she wasn't invited to the birthday party when she was a kid. It's like, look, well, you're here now. Stop trying to rewrite shit that you can't change, and it's fine because it wasn't racist in the first place. Maybe, whether, like, again, there was black people on this show, and they were pretty cool. They just weren't prominent, and I can understand wanting a prominent face. There's nothing wrong with that. But to go back and have this kind of correction motif is kind of, it's a little odd and a little desperate and a little pathetic, honestly. It just feels like a person who's saying, well, you guys are racist, so now we got, like, it just feels off-putting. So I'm glad that they're not, going forward with this bullshit, whether it's because Joss Whedon's not here or because they're just realizing, hey, man, we can't be doing some of this bullshit. But that's a victory, in my opinion. So give it up for them and give it up for us here at the Jabberjaws. Please hit that like and subscribe. Really would appreciate it, y'all. Hopefully this wasn't too long. If not, thanks for sticking with me this long. Peace.